Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Player of the Week selection on eFootball. I'll give you a quick summary of what's new today before we get into Player of the Week. There's not a lot that's been added really. If you go to events, you'll see we have got round 2 of the Barcelona event, and versus the AI, we've got round 1 of AC Milan. Apart from that, nothing really new. Co-op and AI co-op are ongoing. Got them for another 2 weeks, so that's good. Hopefully that's a permanent thing. And then, shockingly, they've added another player to the point store. I say shockingly, they're obviously syncing these new point store players with the club packs because there's an AC Milan pack. So we've got Okafor in the point store. That's obviously good news in a way, although if you like Okafor, you like the idea of getting an Okafor card, then you probably picked up the free one that was in the nominating contract speedsters pack, in which case you wouldn't really need this one, but still, a player in the point store, so that's good news. And as I mentioned with packs, we have the AC Milan pack, so got Fonseca as our manager, and of course he's another double booster manager. How exciting. So +1 in physical contact and kicking power. He's a quick counter manager, and then of course you've got 11 Milan cards. So I'll do a separate video reviewing this pack. I'll get that live probably over the weekend at some point. And then if you look at the regular packs, feature players, whatever you want to call it all, it's been added today. If I can find it, where are we? So of course you've got Player of the Week. We've got another Showtime box, yay. And we've got a Turkish League pack. I won't be doing a review of that. It doesn't look particularly great like most of these Turkish League packs these days. And of course it's useless unless you get the Turkish League challenge. But yeah, there we go. But Player of the Week, as always, 11 players in there. And I'll be putting timestamps in the description. So if you want to hear about particular players, click in the description. There'll be a link that will take you straight to them. We've got 11 players, of course, as always. And we have 2 4-stars. Let's start with the lowest rated. And that is Joaquín Correa. So, who else had forgotten about this guy? Still at Inter, and he's coming from the cold, and he played really well alongside Thuram, and he's got himself a Player of the Week. So, Correa, not only that, he's actually a booster. So, we've got a booster, Joaquín Correa. He's normally a whole player SS. They have added centre forward and made him fully proficient as a centre forward, and they changed him from a whole player to a deep line forward. That might be good news for you, might be bad news. So, yeah, inconsistent form, that's one negative as well. In terms of previous versions, we've had one trainable version of it. I have no idea what pack that was. I guess that's quite a while ago. Had a bit more speed and on the ball attributes as well, a bit better on the ball, on auto allocation at least, but on the whole, not quite as good as this one. Had standard form though, that was one advantage to that previous trainable version, and of course it could be trained. Looking at Correa's GP card, what they changed, obviously they give him more of a centre forward build compared to his GP card, although his finishing still isn't that great. 79 finishing on a centre forward, not for me. I know it's a deep line forward, but for me, I'll be looking at this guy more as an SS, I think. Just from looking at that finishing attribute alone, that's not great on the centre forward. But yeah, his GP card a bit better on the ball. So they've nerfed him a bit on the ball. But otherwise, this is a better card on the whole than his GP card. Like I say, I've made him more of a centre forward, so I can kind of understand him not being quite as good on the ball, even if that's a bit frustrating. But let's activate the boost to see how good he gets. And that does make him better on the ball. So ball control and dribbling at least hitting 90 with the game plan boost. Low pass as well. Let's have a look at his skills. I have a feeling they're giving him through passing. Of course they have. Right, so what have they done skill wise? They've taken away scissors feint, chop turn, scotch move, and gamesmanship. And we've been given chip shot control, heel trick, first time shot, one touch pass, through passing. So for me, that's a really good trade. If you really like your skill moves, that might not be quite so good for you, but we need more in product, and we've got it here. They've beefed up his passing, and we've got one touch pass and through passing as well. So this guy's going to have some very nice passing. We've got first time shot as well. That's crucial on any kind of centre forward. Heel trick and outside curl, nice ones there. He's a super sub as well. He was already a super sub. So skill wise, looking good. Passing is looking good. Pretty tidy on the ball. Attacking wise, I think for a deep line forward, certainly as an SS, that's good. As a centre forward, not so sure. As a deep line forward, it's not quite as important as it would be on, for example, a goal poacher, but it's still important. Pace, pretty average. It's not too important on deep line forward. I'd like a bit more balance, so he's got a bit of physical contact about him, so that's good. He's 6'2". I don't know how comfortable he's going to feel on the ball. He's probably not going to be the most responsive, but a bit of physical contact will help him, certainly with the way the game is these days. That finishing isn't great for a striker, but it will go past 8 with your game plan boost. They have given him first time shot as well, so I guess with this card, you're looking at the positions, you're thinking what positions you're going to be effective in. Wide right, not for me. He's right footed, he can't cross to save his life. Left wing, he's not got long range curler, which is a bit of a shame, but he's got first time shot, he's got very good passing, his finishing will go past 80. Bit of a lack of pace. I think left wing's a bit of a stretch. If you don't mind your wide man lacking in pace, an inverted wing off the left flank, not the quickest, but technically very sound. He could be effective there, but I think through the middle is where you're gonna get the most out of this guy. Centre forward for me, like I say, the awareness isn't brilliant. The finishing isn't good enough for me as an out-and-out centre forward, even though he's a deep line forward. I think this guy is best as an SS, just behind one or two strikers. He's got very nice passing with the passing skills, and that low pass on A4 and going past 90. So I think as an SS, he could be very neat. I think he's fairly well built for that. As an attacking midfielder, he'd be playing attacking midfield without that playing style. That playing style won't be active as an attacking midfielder, but he's got attacking awareness in the 80s. Very nice on the ball, very nice passing, decent finishing for an attacking midfielder. Pace not so important when you're playing that deep. That could be an option for you. I think SS or MF is where this guy's going to be best as a kind of number 10. It's not an amazing card. I think certainly without the A-form boost, it's nothing special. I really don't like the look of it too much. And I don't like that deep line forward playing style as a striker or an SS particularly. But on A-form as an SS or an attacking midfielder, not an amazing card, but certainly could be a pretty useful one. Could well be one that's worth keeping hold of that Italian League challenge. So yeah, not an amazing card, but when he gets A-form, could be a decent one for a lot of people. Next we have Muhammed Cham, or Muhammed Cham Saracevic, to give him his full name. So this guy scored a hat-trick, and he also assisted both the other goals for Trabzonspor on Monday night. Outstanding performance, no surprise he's in. No face scan, hopefully he'll get one at some point. This guy actually has had a previous Player of the Season card in the Ligue 1 Player of the Season pack, as those kind of pre-trained cards. That was when he was at Clermont. It was a slightly better card than this one, so if you got that, if you picked up that Muhammed Cham card from that pack, you've got a slightly better one on the whole. This card, it is a 4-star, and there's no booster, and to be brutally honest, it's not great. It's got some qualities for sure, but yeah, it's not looking too exciting to me. Probably the finishing stands out to me. For an attack midfielder, that's great, 85. If you look at the skills, they've given him long range shooting, no surprise. So they've added long range shooting, they've added rising shot, first time shot as well, and outside curl is a nice one. He's a super sub again, he's already got super sub, always good to have super subs. So yeah, he's got through passing as well. So his passing, well, yeah, not brilliant. Through passing is great, but with low pass only at 80 for an attack midfielder, that's not great at all. But certainly the finishing, he's got 85 finishing, and then long range curler, rising shot, long range shooting, accurate finishing, first time shot, bunch of shooting skills there. So this is a guy who, if I'm going to get this guy on the ball in those attack midfield areas, I'm going to be looking to shoot before I look to pass, because his passing's not great. It's not brilliant on the ball either. They've actually nerfed his dribbling. Annoying, they've taken a bunch of points off his dribbling and his lofted pass. I can probably live with the lofted pass being nerfed a bit, but dribbling's frustrating. But where they're boosting from his GP card, he's got a bit more balance. His physicals are up a bit, stamina, his defending's up a bit, and his finishing. So that's had a boost to get up to 85. So yeah, it's not a brilliant card. You know, he's got a bit of pace for an attacking midfielder, and he's certainly got some very nice shooting ability. He can certainly score goals for you, but for an attacking midfielder, for me, and as a whole player with the attacking awareness hitting 80, yeah, there are qualities there. He's going to take up good positions, and he's certainly very capable of scoring goals with the shooting attribute and skills. Bit of pace about him as well, but the balance isn't brilliant. On the ball, he's not brilliant. And the passing for me on an attacking midfielder, yes, he's got through passing, but 80 low pass for me is not good enough. So it is very much a 4-star card. If you support Trabzonspor or maybe Clermont, if you like this guy for any reason in real life, then it might be a nice copy to pick up. But just to look at this card in isolation, objectively, it's very much a 4-star card. And as an attacking midfielder, he's not strong enough where he needs to be for me. So it's not a brilliant card on the whole. And next we have Beraldo from PSG, Brazilian centre-back. Again, no face scan. He'll probably get one at some point. He's quite young. Build-up centre-back. This is regular playing style. It's the first time I've had a featured version of this guy. What they've done, really, the main thing they've done is they boosted his pace and his stamina. That's what they seem to do with a lot of Player of the Week centre-backs these days. Outside of that, slightly nerfed his defensives. Again, they always seem to do that. Mainly the engagements had a few points taken away. Pretty annoying that, but still pretty strong defensively. Those first 3 defensive attributes will hit 90 with your game plan boost, with the maximum boost. Engagement will be up to about 85, 86. So yeah, still pretty strong defensively. Down the left, you've got a few in the 70s there, which is nice. The pace is decent for a centre back. Stamina's good, but jumping 76, and he's only 5'11". Yikes. Even with aerial superiority, that's a big concern. And physical contact as well. I always say it. Physical contact on centre-back is so important. He's not the biggest and he's not the strongest. That's a big shame. Heading's not brilliant, what they've done skill-wise. So the heading's not brilliant. He's not got the heading skill. Yes, he's got aerial superiority, but on the whole, with the jumping, the physical contact, the heading, this guy's not going to be great in the air, and he's not the strongest physically, so a big concern for me. Some decent skills there, so they've added, I mean, first time shot, yeah, on a centre-back really doesn't matter, does it? But they've added man marking, fighting spirit, I think that's new. Aerial superiority, they've added aerial superiority. Already got interception and blocker, so we've got some of the most important skills for a centre-back, but yeah, like I say, some good skills and a lot of attributes looking pretty decent on centre-back, but he's going to be lacking in the air and he's lacking physical strength, and for those two reasons, that kind of spoils the card a bit for me. So yes, some qualities there. Some people might find this guy decent, but lacking in two of the most important areas for a centre-back, so it's not a great card for me on the whole. Dave the Save is back in Player of the Week. So we got our 4th Player of the Week, David De Gea, I make it. Yeah, looking pretty good. This is a good goalie card. It's pretty similar on the whole to previous ones. Had a couple of Man U ones. To be honest, the only real difference, significant difference I see with the Man U ones or any of the previous ones is that those two Man U ones have better distribution. They got a bunch more points on his low and lofty pass. Obviously, it's not the most important thing on the goalie, but it does make a bit of a difference. So that's the one thing I would note in terms of comparing it to previous Player of the Week cards. But in terms of the goalie attributes, the important ones, pretty similar on the whole. He's up there with the previous trainable versions of De Gea as well on the whole. So it's a pretty good version of De Gea. If you've not got a good version of him already, good goalie card. The awareness going past 90, reflexes already past 90, reach is going to hit 90 as well, and he's 6'4", I make that. Catching's not brilliant, parrying's kind of okay. So yeah, on the whole, good goalie card. Of course, he can't jump. It's a Player of the Week card. Low punt, high punt, long throw. Yeah, good goalie card on the whole. Slightly confused that they put him in. He didn't play badly at all. I watched the match. I think, to be honest, they put him in for that one. He made a triple save at one point. It was an amazing triple save, but there was an offside, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. So slightly strange that they put him in, but not complaining. It's a good goalie card on the whole. And like I say, if you've not got a De Gea card, it could be a very good one to pick up. And especially, again, that Italian League Challenge. If he's got form in any given week when we get the Italian League Challenge, could be a really good option for you. So yeah, good goalie card, that. And next we have Maghnes Akliouche from Monaco. So he's got his face scan. That's quite recent, I think. They've made him a right midfielder, normally an attacking midfielder. He is normally a creative playmaker. They put him in Player of the Week quite recently. So we've had one previous Player of the Week card of Akliouche. That was also a whole player. They made him a whole player again, but this time, like I say, he's a right midfielder, whereas previously just attacking midfield. The previous Player of the Week card wasn't quite as good on the whole, but it was very much an attacking midfield build. Essentially, the difference between this one and that one, it comes down to the pace that we've got on this one, big boost on his pace, whereas the attacking midfield one, the previous Player of the Week, had the passing. So as an attacking midfielder, previous one was better. As a right midfielder, this one looks a bit more suitable. And what they've done compared to his GP card, really, they've just given him more of a right midfield build. So like I say, boost to his pace. He's not as good on the ball or with his passing, annoyingly, compared to his GP card. But yeah, the pace has been boosted, a bit more kicking power, a bit more stamina, and a bit more finishing as well. If he tried to train his GP card to play right midfield, and if he obviously position trained him to play right midfield, because he doesn't normally have right midfield, you can match some of these attributes, but on the whole, this is obviously a boost compared to his GP card. It is better. And then skill-wise as well, they've added soul control as a nice one, chip shot control, and we've got first time shot, and interestingly we've got interception as well on a right wing hole player. So yeah, interesting, nice bonus I guess to have. Annoyingly, we don't have through passing. We've got one touch pass, but no through passing. So yeah, with those passing attributes in the 70s, no through passing, I wouldn't put him anywhere near attacking midfield. I would very much be putting him right midfield with the whole player playing style, making some good attacking runs with a bit of pace about him. Some nice dribbling. He's not as good on the ball as he can be, as he has been previously, but still got that dribbling over 90 with your maximum game plan boost and a bit of pace about him. Not great balance though, and the passing is still a bit dodgy. Finishing is going to go past 8 with your game plan boost, and we've got first time shot there. So yeah, no long range curler though. So there are a few reasons why this guy doesn't look too great for me. He is very much a right midfielder. Like I say, I'm not touching him, the attacking midfield position with his passing as it is. So as a right midfielder, bit of pace, pretty decent on the ball, but would like a bit more attacking awareness, would like through passing, would like a bit more balance on him. So a few reasons why it's not such a great card for me, but he's certainly got some qualities. So yeah, there's no French League challenge, so limited reasons why you'd want to keep this guy, but there are some qualities there. For some people it could be a fun card to have, but on the whole it's not a brilliant one, not one to really get excited about for me. And now we have Leon Goretzka from Bayern. So they're changing from a CMF to a DMF, but he's already got DMF and CMF positions. He's got AMF as well. Nothing's really changed in terms of his positions or his playing style. It doesn't matter which positions are written on the card. He can still play all those positions. Standard form. He's a big physical guy. I think most people know what to expect from Goretzka these days. Of course, he's got his face scan. Previous Player of the Week versions of him, had a few. To be honest, all around a similar kind of level, really. Not a massive difference on the whole. Stats obviously shuffled around a little bit. One or two kind of better technically. There's one that's better physically. It just depends on which attributes you really prioritise and which position you play him in. For me personally, there was a Champions League Player of the Week that was down as a centre-back with a build-up playing style, and that one for me was the best as a DMF, if I'm honest. But yeah, it's around about the same level as previous ones. We've had a couple of trainable ones that I think are probably the best versions of Goretzka, and they're better than this one as a DMF or CMF. So this isn't one of the better versions of Goretzka on the whole. It's an alright version, but we have had better versions. I got one ages ago. They did a bunch of partner club packs with players from all their partner clubs like Monaco, Milan, etc. And I got a Goretzka card from one of those, and it's been really good for me. I think that's just about the best version of Goretzka we've had in the game, so I'm lucky I got that, and I've loved it, to be honest. But this one isn't quite on the same level compared to his GP card. I mean, if you train the GP card as a DMF, you can make the defensive attributes better on his GP card, but he's not as good elsewhere. And if you try and kind of retrain him to match all the attributes, he's not as good. This is obviously boosted from his GP card. And yeah, on the whole, it's kind of all right. You know, the passing's okay. That low pass with the maximum boost should hit 88. The technicals, ball control and type possession will hit 80. He's not great on the ball, though. Certainly not with the dribbling. Defenses with the game plan boost, all going to be 80 plus. Reasonable pace for centre mid, good kicking power, physically strong, stamina. I think you need a bit more stamina on it, box to box, whether it's CMF or DMF, and balance, not great. So yeah, I wouldn't use him as an attack midfielder. He's not got the attacking awareness or the balance. Although, if you look at the skills, they have given him through passing. So what else they added? Through passing has been added. Pinpoint crossing has been added. I'm not sure Goretzka can be popping about wide very often, but when he does, he can cross. At least better than he normally can. What's his lofted pass? 86. Okay, he's got a decent cross on him. Fair play. What else we had added here? Man marking. Okay, on a DMF, that's good. And aerial superiority as well. Cool. So he's got a pretty good selection of skills, actually. CMF or DMF. So heading and aerial superiority. Be good in the air for a centre midfielder. Well, decent at least. He's about 6'2", 6'3". Jumping's not brilliant, but physically strong. Aerial superiority. Heading's good. So decent in the air for a centre mid or a DMF. One touch pass and through passing, very important. He's got long range shooting as well if he does move forward at any point, and crossing, as I mentioned. Outside curls, a useful one to have. He is a little bit one-footed and he's a bit clunky, so yeah, outside curl is a handy one. And then man marking is a nice addition alongside interception, aerial superiority, fighting spirit. So yeah, pretty good selection skills for a DMF or CMF. I wouldn't use him as AMF. I don't think he's nimble enough. I don't think he's technically good enough to play AMF, but as a centre mid or DMF, he's all right. Not amazing, but he could do a job. But for me, yeah, as much as he's an okay card, you don't really want an okay card from Player of the Week. You want cards to really kind of improve what you got, and I'm not sure he's going to improve many people's squads, really. And like I say, there have been a few better versions. The version I got is quite an old one now, and that one is comfortably better than this one. So yeah, it's not a bad card by any means. I think they've definitely improved his skill set. He's got a good skill set, and he can certainly do a job. If you're new to the game, you need more options. At DMF or CMF could be a useful one, but as much as not a particularly bad card, it's not a particularly brilliant one either. So not the most exciting version of Goretzka, really. And now we have our next booster. We've got a booster, James Maddison. He's a whole player. So Maddison, normally a creative playmaker. They made him a whole player again. We had a previous Player of the Week whole player version of Maddison. He's down as a centre midfielder. And excitingly, they've added DMF as a semi-proficient position. So if it was possible to position train these cards, you could make him a DMF. But it's not. But yeah, weaker foot accuracy is up one. Looking at him compared to previous Player of the Week cards, he's just had a couple of him. One when he was at Leicester wasn't quite as good as this one. And there's one when he, a recent one, I mentioned, a whole player from this season. The main difference between this one and that one is that this one's a bit better with the pace and finishing. This one is a bit better on the whole. If you look at the trainable versions of Maddison that we've had, the best versions of him before you activate the A-form boost on this card, the best trainable versions are probably slightly better on the whole, and trainable of course, but when this one gets the A-form boost, as you see here, I would say this makes him probably arguably just about the best version of Maddison, although it could come down to the playing style and what position you want to use him in. So depending on what play style you like, because obviously you might prefer a creative playmaker, it depends on the position as well. You might not agree this is the best version of Maddison, but I think for most people it probably is just about what they've done compared to his GP card. The pace has had a boost, physicals, stamina's had a bit of a boost, finishing as well. Lost a little bit of balance and dribbling, bit annoying that, but not a massive difference. I think I would allow that considering the boost he's had overall, because this does look like a very, very good version of Maddison. If we look at the skills, unwavering form as well. If we look at the skills, what have we got? So we've lost dipping shot, acrobatic finishing and gamesmanship. We've gained double touch, chip shot control and first time shot. So an interesting trade. I think it's a fair trade. Importantly, we've still got one touch pass and through passing, weighted pass as well, outside curler. He's going to be really nice at passing. It's not affected by the boost, so with the maximum game plan boost, he's always going to hit the 90 mark for low pass. He's going to have very good passing. He's going to be very tidy on the ball. Attacking awareness in the 80s for a whole player is good. Finishing in the 80s as well. It's about the quickest version of Maddison I think we've had in the game, so he's got a bit of pace about him, albeit he's still not particularly quick, so I'm not sure I would want to use him out wide particularly. Kicking power, you can get that higher on some trainable versions. I've got a trainable one. I think it's from that 100 player pack, from the contract renewal spins, whatever you call it, with the big update. The kicking power on my one I think goes up towards 90, but still 83 is okay. Physical contact 70 could certainly be worse than this type of player. Balance is decent, even though I've slightly nerfed it. And stamina, like I say, has been boosted a bit. So yeah, it depends what position you want to use him in. If you don't mind a winger lacking a bit of pace, he could be decent on either flank, to be honest. He can certainly cross from the right flank, and on the left flank, cutting inside with long range curler, first time shot, very nice finishing attribute. Could be effective from the left flank, just that pace. If you want a bit more pace in the wingers, as most people do, then he probably wouldn't be suitable there. But in the middle, for me personally, centre mid, he's nowhere near strong enough defensively, but as an attacking mid with the whole player playing style, making those forward runs into good positions, he's tidy on the ball, he can pass, he can shoot. This for me is a very nice conversion of Maddison. Bit more mobility than he normally has. And he's obviously got the technique and all the end product, and that playing style for a lot of people is very attractive. So yeah, for me personally, it is subjective, but I think most people would probably agree this is just about the best version of Maddison we've had. It's a pretty nice looking card this, when he gets the A-form boost especially. So yeah, pretty good card that. And next we have another centre midfielder. So we've got Enzo Fernández. And he's got his usual playing style, box to box, usual position. Got his face scan, which I think needs updating at this point. We've had one previous Player of the Week version of Enzo. That was a World Cup Player of the Week card. Was not quite as good as this one. This is an upgrade. We've had a Showtime version, which is obviously better than this one. That's the best version of him that we've had. The best trainable versions of Enzo are actually slightly better than this one, but that's mainly just due to the passing, and that has been nerfed a bit annoyingly. So compared to his GP card, they've nerfed his passing, at least compared to auto allocation, but the boost is mainly around attacking awareness, finishing, his physicals up a bit on his pace as well. So yeah, on the whole, bit of a boost from his GP card. Passing is still good. With a maximum game plan boost, he's still going to hit 90 for a low pass, so he's about as good as he needs to be for passing, but still annoying that they've taken a bunch of points away from that, especially on a Player of the Week card, but it is what it is. Unwavering form as well. Not sure I agree with that, but anyway, skill-wise, what they've done. We've lost scissors feint. I think we can live without that, but we've also lost weighted pass. That's a bit of a shame. Weighted pass is a very nice one to have in a midfielder, so annoying they've taken that away. But we can live without penalty specialist as well, so I think we live without scissors feint and penalty specialist. A shame we've lost weighted pass. Those are three we've lost, and then what we've gained heading, we've gained interception, that's a good one, and captaincy. So I think that the main difference there is that the weighted pass is a big loss, but interception is a big gain. We've still got one touch pass and through passing. We've got low lofted there, still got very nice passing. Interception now on a box to box centre mid, that's a really big addition. First time shot, nice. Long range curler likewise. Soul control, nice of course. So it's a pretty good selection of skills on the whole for a box to box. You've got most of the skills he needs. I certainly wouldn't touch defensive mid with him because he can't tackle to save his life. He's not strong enough defensively. As an attacking mid, you could get away with him. He's not got a great finishing attribute, but he's got a long-range goal and first-time shot. Tidy enough on the ball, good passing. But I think as a box-to-box centre mid, as long as you've got at least one other midfielder behind him doing the defensive work, I think it's a pretty decent card on the whole. It's a decent version of Enzo. Like I say, there've been a few better ones, especially the Showtime one. But yeah, this is kind of a decent all-round centre mid, really. He's not amazing. He's not that strong defensively. I'd like a bit more balance on him. But yeah, on the whole, decent, unwavering form. He's got a good selection of skills. I don't think it's an amazing one. I don't think it's one to get particularly excited about. But if you like Enzo, and if you want a decent version of him, and you don't already have one, it could be a decent one to pick up. I don't think it's a particularly exciting one, but it's not a bad one either. It's just a solid box-to-box, really. Speaking of solid, we have a solid centre-back. So we've got Šutalo from Ajax. He is normally a build-up. They've made him a destroyer. We've actually had one trainable version of this guy, a featured one, that was in one of those, either Legend or Showtime box. It was a bit better than this one, to be honest. On auto allocation, way better defensively. The defenses are a lot higher. Didn't quite have the pace or the stamina, but you can retrain that card, and on the whole, it is a bit better than this one. Comparing it to his GP guard, what they've done, they've again boosted the pace and stamina. That's what they seem to do with a lot of these centre-back player of the week cards. They boosted his left column a little bit as well. The technicals, the passing. So yeah, on the whole, what we've got really is it's a solid centre-back. Defence is down there. Yes, he could be higher. It could be higher, certainly the aggression, but ultimately, if you get the maximum game plan boost, awareness, tackling, engagement, all hitting the 90 mark. Speed's going over 80. The acceleration's all right. It's pretty decent on a centre-back. Jumping's not brilliant. He's 6'1", fairly average height for a centre-back. Not the tallest, though, and jumping 84. But they have added heading and aerial superiority. Those are the skills they've added on this guy. So heading and aerial superiority. And then we got weighted pass. Nice on a centre-back. And his passing is decent for a centre-back as well. And then we got man marking, interception, blocker, sliding tackle, acrobatic clearance, captaincy, fighting spirit. That's a very good selection of skills for a centre-back. So, yeah, on the whole, solid all-rounder, really. I think it'd be nice if we had a little bit more on the physical. He just can't quite hit that 90 mark with the game plan boost, but he's not particularly weak either. I think the physical contact's decent enough. The jumping with aerial superiority, the physical contact being where it is, I think on the whole he's going to be okay in the end. Not brilliant. He'll be okay, though. Like I say, the pace is decent. Stamina's pretty decent. That's had a boost. Defenses are fairly strong, and down the left is all right. So, yeah. It's not an amazing centre-back card. I think if you got, again, you got to look at what league he plays in. We don't get an Eredivisie challenge, so when are you going to use this guy? If you're new to the game, you want centre-back options to beef up, to beef up your options in defence. Then he could be a useful one to have. But is he going to improve many people's squads in general for divisions and so on? Probably not. And if we don't get an Eredivisie challenge, then I'm just not sure where the use would be for this guy. But it's certainly not a bad card on the whole. He's had a bit of a nice boost to his pace and stamina, like I say, and on the whole, it's a good version of him. But yeah, it's just, are you going to find a use for this guy? I think anyone who's been playing the game for quite a while, he's probably not going to improve what you've got, but it's not a bad card at all. Certainly with the defenses being quite strong, and on the whole, yeah, there's no glaring weakness. He's not going to be too strong physically and aerially, but not particularly weak either. And on the whole, it is a solid centre-back. I just don't know how many people really need this card. And this is one of the cards I think most people are most interested to see. So we've got a right-back version of Federico Valverde. Normally a box-to-box centre mid. He is now an attacking fullback. He's got right-back. They've added right midfield as well. Hard to really compare him to previous versions because we've not had a right-back version of Valverde before, really. So I'm not going to really bother comparing to previous versions. All I will say is that if you wanted to use Valverde in his normal position as a centre mid, not great. They've obviously nerfed him down that left column. That's what you'd expect. I won't complain about that because this is obviously a right-back version of him. So we have lost a bunch of points off these technicals down the left-hand side, but we've gained points with the defending. He's a lot physically stronger than he tends to be. So I think the way they've shuffled the points around is fair. I wouldn't use him down as a right winger either. So centre midfield, I don't think he's got the passing or the technical ability really to be good there. Down the right, on the right wing as a right midfielder or as a right wing forward. Again, I don't think he's that great technically in attacking awareness as well. So This is very much just the right back version of Valverde for me. And the question is he good? And he's decent, to be fair. He's got a lot of qualities here. I'd like a bit more speed on him, but with the maximum game plan boost, you will at least get to 88 for speed. I think you can certainly get away with that. That's not slow by any means. Acceleration is going to hit 90, so on the whole, decent pace. Kicking power is great, as you expect on any Valverde card. Physically strong for a fullback. Balance, always the case with Valverde. They always give him really bad balance. I think they've done him dirty, really. He deserves a bit better for balance. So that's one thing to be concerned about. Stamina's good, that's already over 90 before your game plan boost. Unwavering form, just noticing. Defense is all in the 80s before the game plan boost. That's great. So he's defensively strong for a fullback. On the ball, obviously compared to most Valverde cards, he's bad, but as a fullback, he's okay. The ball control and dribbling, both hitting 80 with the game plan boost, I think that's okay. And likewise, low enough to pass already around the 80 mark. So all these technicals for a fullback, and certainly the finishing at 80. I'm guessing they've boosted that a bit. But yeah, finishing 80 on a fullback is fantastic. Let's look at the skills. So long range curler, rising shot, long range shooting, first time shot. That's I don't think I've seen a fullback with better shooting than that, to be honest. We've still got one touch pass and through passing. So going forward, fantastic skills. And defensively, what they changed is they've actually taken away a couple of shooting skills. So dipping shot and acrobatic finishing are gone, but first time shot is a new one. And then defensively, they've added man marking, so that's a good one to have on a fullback. And we've already got interception as well, so man marking, interception, fighting spirit as well. They've added captaincy. So yeah, I think for an attacking fullback, this card's looking pretty decent to me on the whole. Yeah, the balance does suck. I'd like a little bit more pace on him, but look at the skills he's got as an attacking fullback. I mean, you could put the defensive instruction on him. I always say, if you prefer a defensive fullback in terms of the playing style, you don't want your fullbacks pushing up the pitch too much. He's physically strong. The pace is decent. He's got good defensive attributes there. He's got man marking, interception. So if you put the defensive instruction on him and use him as a defensive fullback, he could definitely do a job for you. But as an attacking fullback, with the attributes he's got, he's pretty solid down the left. He's got a reasonable pace. All these skills here that he's got, and then obviously defensively he's got man marking, interception, good defensive attributes, good physical strength. It's just really the balance, to be honest. I can live with not quite having not quite getting to the 90 mark for speed. I can live with that with all the other strengths he's got. Balance is a bit annoying. That's the one real downside to me. But outside of that, like I say, I can live with the speed, and everything else is looking pretty solid, to be honest. So yeah, it's a very interesting version of Valverde, of course, because he's not normally a fullback. So if you want a slightly different version of Valverde, you want to use him in that position, especially for that Spanish League challenge, could be a decent one to pick up, a very interesting one. So yeah, it's a pretty good card for me on the whole, and I'll be pretty pleased if I get this card. And finally, we've got our last booster, and we've got yet another Saka Player of the Week card. And we must be approaching double figures, I think, now for Player of the Week cards of Saka. So usual playing style, usual positions. He's got a booster. Let's just activate the booster straight away. So what we're looking at, we're looking at just another Saka, to be honest. And I don't want to sound negative, because this is not a bad card. This is a good card. If you look at all the previous Player of the Week cards, the better ones tend to be the previous ones that had a booster, and it's around the same level. Just the stats get shuffled around a little bit. Some of them are a little bit better on the ball. Some of them got a little bit more for finishing or for lofted pass, for example. And the play styles vary as well. We've had a few playing styles. We've had a box to box. We've had a cross specialist. Usually tends to be a prolific winger though. Unwavering form, of course. And of course he's got his face gun. So yeah, I think this is one of these cards where if you've already got one of the better versions of Saka, you don't need it. There have been some very nice Player of the Week versions of him. If you look at the trainable versions as well of Saka, we've had a Showtime, which is obviously the best version of Saka. If you've got that one, you don't need any other version. But otherwise, if you look at the other trainable versions of Saka, this is in terms of the overall level, he's up there. It's not trainable, obviously. But yeah, it just depends what version you got. It's not the best version of Saka, but it is a good one. Certainly up there with the better Player of the Week cards, I think, when he's on A form. So he's good on the ball, got very nice dribbling. Low enough to pass, decent. Finishing is decent for a wide man. Attacking awareness likewise. Pretty decent pace. Not the quickest version of Saka that we've had. Balance, when he's on A form, balance will get to 90 with your game plan boost. So yeah, it's a decent version of Saka, this. In terms of the skills, this might be what swings it for some people, because he's not got through passing. He's not got long range curler. So as an inverted ring off the right flank, that might be a bit of a shame for you. But if you're a dribbler, if you like his skill moves, this is where it could get interesting for you, because we've lost Marseille turn, We've also lost low lofted pass and penalty specialist, but they've added double touch and flip flap, and he's already got soul control. So this is a version of Saka that has the ball roll double touch. So for the dribblers out there, this could be a very interesting version of Saka for that reason alone. They've also added pinpoint crossing though, so if you like an old school winger, you like putting your crosses in, putting this guy on the left flank, pinpoint crossing. Yeah, his lofted pass isn't brilliant, but his crossing is better than it can be for Saka with that pinpoint crossing skill being added. So one or two reasons why this might be a pretty appealing version of Saka for you. But like I say, there have been one or two better ones, certainly Showtime, and it depends on the playing style and the way the attributes are, you know, the kind of profile they're giving him, because one or two previous versions of Saka might be better for you. It just depends on playing style, which attributes are higher, and of course the skills as well. So for some people, ball roll double touch, pinpoint crossing could be a very nice version of Saka, but no through passing, no long range curler, and it's not the highest rate we've had either. Like I say, Showtime and one or two player of the week, previous player of the week ones might be better for you. So for some people, might not be the most exciting version of Saka, but if you don't have a good version, or if you don't have if the version you got is not quite, you know, as well suited to you as this one, then it could be a very nice one to have. And looking at it objectively in isolation, it's obviously a very good card. It's a very good Saka card. So not for everyone necessarily, but if the strengths they're giving this Saka suit you, it can be a really nice card to pick up. So there is your player of the week selection. I don't think it's the one of the better versions we've had in recent times, but it's certainly not one of the worst ones. I think in here you've got, I mean, even the lowest rate card, Correa, when he gets his aim form boost, I think it could be a pretty tidy number 10, either as an SS with a deep line forward playing style, or as an AMF without an active playing style. Beraldo, a little bit small and weak, strong outside of that, but those are two major weaknesses for me. Muhammed Cham, just not a brilliant card on the whole. Akliouche, nah, could be fun for some people, not a brilliant card. De Gea, that is a good goalie card. I'll be happy if I get that card. I'll keep him as a very good Italian League challenge option. Maddison, arguably the best version of Maddison we've had. I think it's a very nice looking card. Goretzka, there have been better versions. It's not a bad card by any means, but I don't think it's a particularly exciting one either. Šutalo, solid centre back if you need one, could be a decent option for you. Enzo Fernández, again, solid, just a solid box to box centre mid. I don't think it's a particularly exciting card, but it's not a bad one by any means. It's a pretty solid card. And then the two highest rate ones I got here, Valverde is a right back, very interesting one. And he looks like a pretty good right back to me. And then Saka, as I was just saying, you know, if the profile they're giving him suits you, it's one of the better Saka cards we've had. It's up there with most of the player of the week cards we've had of Saka before. Just the Showtime's better really, but if you don't have the Showtime, this might well be a really, really good card for you. So yeah, there's some decent cards in this pack. I think it's an okay pack on the whole. Nothing too exciting, but yeah, as always, I'll do my spin for you now, so you can watch me get a 4-star again. I imagine I'll get Muhammed Cham Sarajevic, but let's just see. I think I probably want Valverde. I think Valverde would be my pick, so let's see who I get. It's the lowest rated in the pack. What a surprise. I might give him a try, see if he's any good. It's not too bad of a card, Correa. It's a decent one, I guess. So there you go. Hopefully you found this video useful. Let me know who you're hoping to spin, who you have spun, what you think of the pack. I'll be doing a separate video over the next few days reviewing the new AC Milan pack, so keep your eyes out for that one. And I may well get another video up discussing the forthcoming update as well. So yeah, keep your eyes on the Discord and the community tab. And again, thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves.